In the dark of the night, when the city was submerged in sleep, the dark car continued its deadly dance through the streets. Each new dawn brought new fears and new losses. Detectives struggled with the puzzle presented by this mysterious serial killer. But even the most skilled hunters sometimes become prey, and one day fate crossed paths with this taxi driver. On one dark night, when the moon hid behind clouds and the stars seemed dim from exhaustion, the taxi driver stopped at a street corner. His gaze was filled with an attractive gloom, his hands clenched on the steering wheel like a predator's claws. A dark cloud drifted across the sky, obscuring the last bit of light, but in that moment, in the distance, something unusual flickered. A faint glow from the lamppost reflected on the wet asphalt, creating a shimmering boundary between light and shadow. It was a girl, a solitary figure strolling down the street. Her steps sounded like a sentence, fading into the silence of the night. And at that moment, the taxi driver felt the flame of his passionate desire. He slowly turned the steering wheel, directing his car towards the girl. His heart pounded with anticipation, like that of a savage before a hunt. He felt that this girl was his next victim, another drop in his black river of death. As the car approached her, he saw her face young and innocent. His eyes sparkled with lust as he slowly opened the door and invited her inside. Oblivious, she entered the car, and they set off on their journey. But something changed that night. Inside the taxi driver, something trembled, as if an inner voice had awakened from slumber. He felt a shadow of doubt creeping through his soul, like a cold wind. And at that moment, as they drove through the dark streets, something within him broke. He realized that he could no longer continue this deadly game, that he could not be a prisoner of his own dark desires. With slow certainty, he turned the car to the side of the road and stopped. His eyes met the girl's eyes in the rearview mirror, and he saw his own reflection. The dark taxi driver in the black car suddenly understood that he was not only a hunter but also prey. He was a captive of his own fear and delusions. With a faint whisper in the darkness, he apologized to her and asked her to leave. She departed, leaving him alone on that dark road. And then, in the silence of the night, the dark taxi driver in the black car realized that it was time to look in the mirror and find his own path to the light. His heart was a dark void, but now it began to beat again, as if calling him to seek true salvation.